Hey YouTube family, welcome to my channel. My name is Aisha Ravon and I'm so excited to get started on my YouTube channel. So I'm new on YouTube and I'm going to be posting videos about self-development, spirituality, self-love, self-help, vlogs. Eventually I want to get into just like daily vlogs and more. So hey, what's going on? Welcome. Let me know what else you guys would like to see on my channel. I'm very much so open to any ideas, so let's get into it. Before we do, go ahead and give this a like, comment, share, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And let's get into it. So I kind of want to get into why I started this YouTube. So I've always felt called to have a YouTube channel since I was younger. You know what, I'm just ripping the band-aid off and just saying, you know what, it's about time I just do it, you know, because why not? So reason why I want to do YouTube is because I feel called to, as I'm going through my self-love, self-growth journey, I feel like God, spirit, whatever you believe in, has called for me to kind of like document my journey and kind of talk about like the different ways, strategies, tools that I've gained for myself that's helped me through healing, trauma, and just healing in general. So yeah, I kind of want to go ahead and spread any sort of knowledge, wisdom that I've gained, that I've learned, and through like my own experiences as well, because I know not everyone's gonna relate to me, but there will be that select group of people who will relate to me, you know? Like I always found it helpful to watch other YouTubers that shared very similar or like not just life experiences, but just like life lessons. It's been helpful to see how they navigated some of the things that they've gone through. So I don't know, I just love helping people and I love teaching. I just finished being an elementary school teacher this year. So I've been a teacher for 2 years and I feel like I'm more than just an elementary school teacher. So I'm always open to new beginnings, as you should be as well. So to start this video, I want to talk about hitting rock bottom. Hitting rock bottom, where like you have your dark night of the soul, when you have your awakening to just where you are in life, where you in rock bottom to the point where you wake up and you're like, you know what, I am tired of feeling so low, feeling so hopeless, feeling so fearful and doubtful. Something has to change. Something has to change. When I hit this point in my life, well, you know, I had a lot of, now that I've been doing a lot of work on myself, I realized how many moments in my life I've had like awakenings. We go through many awakenings in our life. My most significant awakening happened, like when I say most significant awakening, I'm meaning to where I woke up like, okay, like I have control over my life, over my decisions and choices, you know? So when I hit rock bottom, obviously when you hit rock bottom, it is not pretty at all. I was in a very, very, very dark, low place. If you're like me, I'm an empath, I'm highly sensitive. I absorb a lot of energy, and a lot of times before we really awaken to our true selves, our higher selves, and our potential, and if you grew up in like a codependent like household like I did, you have learned and been conditioned to have people-pleasing tendencies, to put others before yourself, not to prioritize yourself. You kind of shifted into that mindset where you're very hard on yourself, and anything that goes wrong, you put it on yourself and you feel like it's your responsibility to fix everything, which kind of molds you into having this mindset of needing to control everything. So basically running on heavy like masculine energy. So sometimes, unfortunately, when it comes to having your dark night of the soul, it happens when, like, usually when you least expect it. Like for me, it happened summer of, I want to say 2020. Yeah, I'll say like summer 2020 is when it really happened. And I don't usually like drink or anything. Like I'm not much of a consistent drinker or anything, but I was this summer. Like you could tell I was drinking to cope through something, you know? In my upbringing, my story is a really heavy story, as I'm sure you have a very heavy story. Lots of us have really heavy stories that have shaped us into the people that we are today. And I just want to say, like, before I get into it, sorry if you notice, I'm someone like, I just have so many different thoughts. I don't know exactly how to organize them, so maybe I should start with writing them down first. But I just want to say, like, whenever you do feel like you're at rock bottom. I know it's easy to feel like it's only gonna get worse or there's no way out of this. It can even lead to darker thoughts like I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to say you are here for a reason. You have a very big purpose in your life. It's okay if you don't know what that looks like exactly right now. And try to understand that this rock bottom period that you're in, it's your body telling you something. It's your body telling you like this version of yourself does not serve you anymore. I just want you to know that there is a way out. There is a light under this tunnel and ways to help you navigate and to help you realign yourself. It may not look the same as it did for me or for someone else, but some of the things that I'm going to share, I hope helps you in some way. So as I was saying, rock bottom that I went through that really woke me up was I want to say summer of 2020. Yeah, I was just drinking heavily to the point where I was blacking out, and as I blacked out, and as I mentioned, like my childhood was very traumatic, very heavy, and I never knew how to express myself. I never felt it was safe to express myself. I didn't feel it was safe to be my own individual person. I didn't know it was okay for me to make my own choices and decisions. So as I blacked out, everything, all the pain that I was feeling just came pouring out. So the people I did not want it pouring out to. So like my family members, you know, even some of my friends that like only had small glimpses of some of the things that I like went through, got a sense of how heavy that pain, how heavy those burdens were on me. And so when I realized some of the things that I was saying sober, I was like, okay, clearly my body is telling me something. Like it's time for a change. I don't know what change looks like. I don't know what's gonna help me, but I've gotta do something. And so, all right, something that's really important to keep in mind, especially when you are someone who functions more on the anxious side, take things slowly. It's okay to take things slowly. Some of the things that first helped me, first thing that you could try is meditating. Now, I was somebody who was like, oh, I've never meditated before. That's not gonna work for me, blah, blah, blah. At this point, I didn't care. I was like, I need to try whatever. So I started off with 5-minute meditations, guided meditations. They have them on YouTube. I actually downloaded this app. I forgot what app it was, but it was a meditation app that helped kind of teach you like the basics of meditation. And at first it's uncomfortable, you know, because you're not used to just sitting. You're not used to sitting like with yourself, you know, sitting in your own energy, sitting in silence, because when you sit in silence, what happens? All of your emotions, all of your thoughts, you feel it like 10 times heavier. You feel that shit, you know, excuse my language, but you feel that shit, you know, like it feels like overwhelming and you're like, oh my God, how do I deal with this? Like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to feel this. What's going on? But as you practice more, start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes, it helped me to do it at the start of my day, because that's when, like, you know, I carried a lot of thoughts and emotions from previous days. So I found that getting up and going outside and meditating, doesn't have to be outside, just in a space where you're alone, learning how to meditate and grasping that skill of meditation, the more you do it, the more you realize like, oh my gosh, I didn't know like I could find peace in my mind. But not only that, like it helps you be able to identify your feelings, understand your triggers, like why you got triggered by something. Where does this trigger stem from? It always has some type of memory, like possibly from your childhood or a past situation or event that you experienced that weighed heavily on you or traumatized you in some way. Your triggers always lead to something. And through meditation, it's another great way to, like I said, just understand your emotions and to actually feel it instead of pushing it away. Feeling it so you can identify it, so that you can pinpoint it and you can nurture it, mostly so that you can nurture it and allow yourself to understand it is okay for me to feel this emotion, because it is a human emotion. There are no good or bad emotions in my eyes. There are no good and bad emotions. We feel being angry or mad for a reason. We have the feelings of being sad or nervous, excited, surprised, ecstatic. We feel all these we have all these emotions for a reason. And also, like, meditation kind of helps you get to know your shadow side, like the side that you kind of push away, that holds a lot of your trauma that you don't want to face. But mostly, I want to say, when you do first start meditation, focus on your breath. Focus on just grounding yourself, grounding your energy, grounding your emotions, because most times our emotions have such great control over us and we don't have control over it. But meditation, like once you're able to just quiet your mind and, like I said, identify, you're able to have control over those emotions. There's a lot more I could say, but I'm not trying to make this first video super long. This is like my intro to my YouTube, you know? So it's my little intro. So I definitely want to go more in depth with all this, but ultimately meditation really helped me first get comfortable with being in my body, having like just being. It helped me just get comfortable being in my mind, navigating, like understanding my mind, and it helped me become more one with my body, my mind, body, and my soul. So I would definitely recommend, I always recommend starting meditation, whether it's you starting for 5 minutes and then gradually moving to 10 minutes. I do 10 minutes every day at the least. I feel like that fills my cup. Obviously, I do a lot more if I have time to do a lot more, if I feel called to do a lot more, but at the least 5 to 10 minutes every day really, really, really makes a difference. And like, let's be honest, we got all this time in a day. What's 5 or 10 minutes? What's 5 or 10 minutes? You know, like that's 5 or 10 minutes that's going to improve your mental health, your emotional health, you know? And so yeah, try to get into that. Try to get into that. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, something that was really, 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 really hard for me to gain a skill in, was journaling, sitting down and having all these emotions and all these thoughts going in my head and not enough hand energy. Okay, like that was a struggle. That was a struggle. But it's okay, again, to start small. Spending 5 or 10 minutes talking about your day. You know, like, how has your day been going? How have you noticed any sensations in your body? What are some things that have been weighing on you? What are some things that you're grateful for? What are some things that went well in your day? Just starting off very little, you know? Just me personally, I feel like I've been writing in a journal, doing my best to write in a journal for some years now. And when you make time for it, you really do start to see the benefits, because it's such a great feeling to see it go back to even like 6 months ago where your mindset was. Like, it's amazing to see how much growth you don't even notice, like, you know, as you go through the process of your journey. You don't even realize like how much you have grown, because like when you're in the moment, when you're going through the journey in the moment, you don't realize the accomplishments that you've made, big or small, you know? It's just a way to like, it's like a way to like, it's a great like progression type tracker. I don't know, like it's a great self-growth tracker. Something that I've been also kind of doing differently outside of like writing in a physical journal. If it's hard for you to write, like I've noticed like lately it's just been really hard for me to write, and it's mostly because I have so much in my mind, and again, not enough hand energy. So I started doing video journals and just like talking to myself on the camera, and I found that to be such a release, because it's a great way to grow a relationship with yourself. Something else about like hitting rock bottom. When I hit rock bottom, it woke me up to how far from myself I was. Something else I want to add really quickly, it's okay to have multiple points in your life where you've hit rock bottom. I'll have multiple points where I've hit rock bottom. Everyone will. You might just experience a more significant, transformative rock bottom than other points in your life. So I just want to clarify that. If that makes sense. Like how much I had lost my own sense of identity. I hadn't realized that, and most times we don't realize that because we really are a product of our environment. People you surround yourself, you kind of do shape and mold into. And when you're in a toxic environment, it starts to become so normalized, you don't even realize that what you're living in, like on a day-to-day basis, is not healthy for you. And eventually you start adopting like those patterns, those tendencies, those habits. And then as time goes on, your actions become a habit. It starts to slowly trickle into you spiraling into rock bottom. So yeah, like usually when we hit rock bottom, we feel like we've really lost ourselves. And that's because we have lost, or we just don't have that bond with ourselves. You know, we don't have that strong friendship with ourselves. So if you feel like you've kind of lost yourself, it's a sign, love, for you to start or get back into your journey through self-love, getting to know yourself again on a deeper level. And I know it may be scary, but the more you take baby steps to improve a relationship, improve your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health, the more you start to see the light, the more that you start to believe in yourself again. Something else that I found was helpful outside of meditating and journaling was physical activity, moving my body, whether that was just dancing in front of the mirror, you know, getting comfortable with seeing myself, appreciating myself for exactly who I am, how I look, just doing some type of small physical activity, whether that's exercising, doing yoga, doing something that gets you comfortable being in your body again, and gets you kind of like up and moving, pumping your blood, you feel? Because I don't know, it just like releases a lot of pent up tension. A lot of like the trauma and experiences that we go through, it truly does manifest physically in our body, like whether it's back pains or headaches or like your eye twitching, you know, like it just manifests and we don't even realize that that's trauma based. You know, that's our mind sending us signals like, hey, like pay attention to me, like. So yeah, like doing some type of, even if it's I started to do walks. Oh my gosh, that's one of the main big things that I did. I went on really long walks. It was not even about my physical health. It was all about my mental health. I would go on like, honestly, like 3 to 4 mile walks, but you ain't gotta do that much. You can just do 10 minutes of walking. Literally, honestly, 10 minutes of walking every day, that truly makes a difference, okay? Just doing, literally, you don't have to do too much when it comes to moving your body. You can spend 10 minutes doing yoga, 10 minutes doing ab workouts, 10 minutes walking or running or jogging. Luckily, you know, we have the internet and YouTube has so many resources, Google has so many resources. We can look up different workouts to do with the YouTubers and yeah, go and join a Zumba class, go and join a Pilates class. Push yourself out of your comfort zone, because when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, that is when growth happens. That's when the beauty happens. Okay, so the next thing that I started to do outside of meditating, walking, or moving my body and journaling was speak affirmations into my life, because I had such a low self-image, such a negative, limiting self-belief because of the things that I heard about myself growing up through family, through friends, and from my own self. I realized like, wow, the way I see the world and see myself is so negative. And I had to realize, or I started to realize, that had to come from somewhere. You know, I wasn't born into thinking negatively or feeling negatively. Then I started to look into affirmations. So I would go on YouTube every morning as I was getting ready for the day. I would play 15-minute morning affirmation, self-love morning affirmation video, and I would look at myself in the mirror, practice mirror work, because when you really do look at yourself in the mirror and repeat this stuff back to you, at first it feels really weird, I'm not gonna lie to you, because you know, when you first do it, you're like, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm intelligent. You know, you don't really believe it. You don't feel the passion behind it. But the more you start to do it, it's gonna shock you. It's gonna shock you to see how much your mindset does start to shift, and you start to actually believe this stuff. And the more you say it and the more you believe it, the more you become it, like for real. And so yeah, it doesn't have to be 10, like I said, you don't have to do too much. Do just enough for you. Even if it's choosing 5 affirmations every day to say yourself in the mirror, that is more than enough. Okay, you know what you can handle in that moment. Just trust in yourself and trust in your body. It's such an amazing feeling to see as each day goes on, the more you start to see yourself differently, and the more you start saying those affirmations so much more confidently, because you believe in that, you believe in it, and you see your true beauty outside of how you look physically. And the last thing that I did to help me start my self-healing, self-growth, self-love journey was limit time on social media, because it really makes it easy for you to lose yourself and compare yourself to other people and compare your growth to other people. And it's so easy to just get caught up in what you don't have or what you're not doing. So like limiting time on social media really helps. So instead of using that time that you'd be on social media, use it on something that would bring you joy. Even if it's something that you've always thought of starting or doing but never did, or something that you used to really love doing as a kid or while you're younger. Get back into doing something that truly like opens up your creativity. And something else I started to do, like I said, I've always loved content creating in some way, so I started to just, you know, film myself doing videos or doing TikToks or just fun dances. I just did whatever. I kind of went through like a trial and error of what hobbies and things resonate to me in my journey, that resonated to this version of myself right now. You're gonna go through a lot of trial and error, and that's okay. But I feel like when you detach from social media, you're able to recognize like the blessings that you already have in your life, that you already have around you, that you've become blinded to. It helps you get into that energy of gratitude. And that's something else. Connecting to affirmations that I did was I started to show gratitude a lot more. So I started to write like 5 to 10 things every day that I was grateful for, and I changed it up, even if it was like the simplest thing of, I'm grateful for waking up this morning. I'm grateful for the fight that I had with my brother or my sister, because it made me learn more about myself and where I could be lacking in my communication. Like, you know, just finding different things to be grateful for. As you go through like the first week is gonna be your struggle. I'm gonna be honest. Like the first week it's probably gonna be one of your hardest weeks, just because it feels so unfamiliar, uncomfortable. But the more you do it, the more you start to feel like this load can come off. And as you move into your second week, you're gonna start getting so used to doing these things that when you don't, you're gonna start to feel a little bit off. Like, hold on, that brought me so much peace. You realize the importance of implementing those things into your life, because that me time is so important. And soon you start to get into this role where it just comes so natural. Now it's a healthy habit that you obtained, you know? And so yeah, like I just want to say, start off little. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. I know it's going to be hard, because if you're like me, it took a while to give myself the same compassion I gave others. Give myself that unconditional love that was so easy to give to others. But as time goes on and you start little, the more it becomes easier, and the more you start to crave more me time, and the more you start to see yourself for who you truly are, the more you start to realize how much power you truly have. Start to really start believing in your purpose. The more you start to see your self-belief grow. And eventually I'm gonna make a video about who becoming more tunnel vision on you, and what to expect when you start being more tunnel vision on yourself. How you start to lose certain people in your life, how you start not to resonate with certain things anymore. So yeah, the more you start to see things come to you that actually does align to you and actually serves you and benefits you. As I wrap up this video, please give yourself grace. Try to give yourself that same amount of love you'd give to other people. It's really gonna test your patience, but you got this, okay? You may not feel like you necessarily believe in yourself right now. I believe in you. There's a reason why I'm even making these videos, because I just want everyone to have that peace with themselves, that love for themselves, that relationship with themselves that they deserve. And I just want to see everybody be their best selves and recognize that the strength that they have, that you have. Yeah, start little and watch how your life starts to transform in such a positive way, and watch how you start to actually authentically love yourself. I hope this video helped you in some way. I'm sorry if it's all over the place. This is my first video, so you know, gotta start somewhere. You gotta take that leap of faith. Take that leap of faith on yourself, okay? You are not going to regret it. It may seem scary right now, but as time goes on, 6 months from now, honey, I guarantee you're not gonna recognize who you were 6 months ago. That feeling of just pouring into yourself is just gonna become addicting in like the best way. So again, I hope this helps in some way. Ultimately, I just really want to help people realign to their highest self, grow comfortable being uncomfortable, and I just want to help people believe in themselves, and I just want to see everyone thrive in the best way that you can and appreciate the journey as I am. So give this a like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see from me. Yeah, and until our next video, thanks for tuning in. Much love.